So the NFL and the NFLPA have discussed the concept of coming together and maybe loosening their stance on medicinal marijuana, which is obviously banned within the NFL, but there is a big belief that it certainly could help with recovery. Kyle Turley, of course, is a former NFL player, offensive lineman, and has been outspoken on this issue and joins us now. Kyle, let's start with this. We've been having this debate today. A guy is made to look cooler if he's holding a football for a living like a quarterback or holding a guitar for a living like a rock star.
Oh, man, I got to go with the football, man. It's taking over the world, that's for sure.
So if a guy walking down the street is like a 3 and he's holding a football, how high does he get? Like if he's a real quarterback, like a guy, like who's a guy you played with that you would say that guy in real life is ugly, but because he's a quarterback, he was good looking?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks haven't really been, holding up to that mark lately over the past few years as far as looks are concerned. It used to be that way. The good-looking guy. Now it seems that it's in the other positions. These reality shows are hosting some of these guys, the tight ends, and these dating shows. I haven't seen any quarterbacks on those lately.
Wait a minute. You just like, opened up a can of worms. Are you saying that the tight end position has caught up to the quarterback position in looks?
Well, you got a couple folks out there that look like movie characters at the QB position, but very, very, very few. Tom Brady doesn't get out there. He's already locked down. I just don't see, when my wife watches these ridiculous shows, any of the quarterbacks around. I see these tight ends.
Wow. So the Travis Kelce's, Rob Gronkowski's of the world. Amazing that they may be surpassing the quarterback.
Wide receivers. Yeah. Wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks are, Andrew Luck, he's not going on the Bachelor anytime soon.
But if Andrew Luck, you just brought up your wife, though, Kyle. If Andrew
Luck. He could get
a
new role if they'd make a Burbs 2. He can get that role.
But if Luck was walking down the street and he wasn't a quarterback, your wife wouldn't turn her head. But because he's a quarterback, don't you think more people would look?
Possibly, if he's holding a football.
Yeah,
after that.
If he's holding the football. Before we get into the marijuana thing, also, I want to ask you, we've been having fun with this today. It is Tom Brady's 40th birthday. Obviously, he's a guy that has everything. The Patriots did an unbelievable thing. They actually bought him goats, and they have a goat petting zoo at camp today, which is amazing. If Kyle Turley, it's true, if Kyle Turley could be gifted one thing from Tom Brady, you would want what from Tom Brady?
I want that year back when the Patriots wanted me to come back, but I was already done with my career. I had needed 3 more surgeries, and so I just said, nah, man, I'm too beat up. And that's what I would like back, because that's the only regret I have, is not going back for that 10th year and playing for the Pats.
Interesting. Good answer. So take me through this. What is the NFL's stance on marijuana, and what do you think it should be?
Well, it's not a very serious stance. I mean, it's only one test a year. After that, you can participate in using marijuana if you want, or any other street drug for that matter, as long as you don't get in trouble. It's a one-time-a-year test for street drugs. So, the stance hasn't been too serious about it, more than it's been about a, kind of dummy check. If you can't, settle it down right before training camp, before you take this test, then we're looking at character flaws here. Because it's been looked at for too long as this, recreational drug. And what I've come to know about, and many other players and other Americans, millions across this country now with all the medicinal states, that this is far from a recreational drug. I don't even believe in that whatsoever anymore from what I've seen, or that anybody uses it recreationally.
What should it be used for? For NFL purposes?
It's a medicinal use, 100%. I mean, it was introduced to me my second year in the NFL as for medicinal purpose. The player saw me struggling, saw me going to the trainers constantly for advice and answers as how I can use, these other pills for sleeping, these other pills for my moods, for all these other issues that were, coming up. And they saw I wasn't getting relief, and they said, try this. And I said, okay, well, I can't, because I'm not going to be one of those guys that gets, popped out the league for that. And they explained the policy to me. I was still naive about it because of the NCAA and just getting out of, that system where it's constant random drug testing. But what we know about the science today is undeniable in that, our government owns a neuroprotective patent on this. Not any one of the psych drugs that they prescribe me, from Wellbutrin, Depakote, and Zoloft, and all these others that NFL doctors recommended and prescribed to me, does the government own a neuroprotective patent on? So on top of the other pain issues and dealing with the opiate epidemic and how we can resolve that, cannabis is going to prove very quickly, now that the NFL is saying that they're going to work with the Players Association, that cannabis is the true medicine for athletes, period.
Take me through a tangible example. I'm talking with Kyle Turley, former NFL offensive lineman. So a tangible example, and let's use it as if the NFL and NFLPA actually do partner on this, which is so hard to believe they're going to partner on anything. But anyway, let's just say that happens. So are you saying game is over? All of you guys are just, the crap has been kicked out of you for 60 minutes. Is it in the locker room that it's being almost administered by team doctors and so on and so forth, where it's actually controlled by the NFL within their environment?
I don't believe that should be for any American. I think every American should have a choice in medicine, be able to use it as they choose. So I don't believe in control and all these other things. This is obviously they haven't proved to be able to control medicine in their locker rooms. And so let's let the professionals do this. I'm hoping that they are held accountable to who they're working with on this research, because there are a lot of people that would like to not see this happen. And so to put restraints and restrictions on it is something that doesn't need to happen.
So you're saying they should never test for it? They should never test for it then? Like NFL should never test for
100%.
marijuana? Okay.
Never again. Jerry Jones himself said that they should drop their prohibition on marijuana.
What percentage of NFL personnel, non-players, do you think smoke marijuana?
Non-players? Oh, I know coaches, administrators, owners. Come on, you're telling me Ursace never burned one down? You got to be kidding me. These guys, Jerry Jones, I never saw him sober at a function ever. So you can't tell me that one time or another these guys haven't participated in it, and players know it. And there's a lot of player coaches out there, and other coaches know it. Again, that's why the NFL, in my opinion, hasn't taken a serious stance on it, carried over the NCAA random testing for marijuana. They know that this helps players, and coaches have been quoted as saying they'd rather have their players stoned than on a bunch of pills. So, once we get to the science of this and start talking educated about this, is going to be the difference.
Have they asked you to help with this at all?
No, that's probably the furthest, far stretch that they would come and try to talk to me or any, of us that have created this stir and force them to, pretty much take a stance the way they have, because they're going to continue to look ignorant as the science is unfolding. I hope they would. I got a lot of answers. I'm here because of this. Cannabis saved my life, period. We can talk semantics. We can throw all these negative things around it, smoking and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, this plant's not killed one soul in the history of the world, and I almost lost my life to opiate addiction and psych medications that have horrific side effects. And so, many of my brothers as well have voiced this. I'm not alone. I knew it, and that's why I've stood up beside all these guys and for these guys, and it continues to grow.
What do you think is really going to happen, though? What do you think the next move is? They talk about that they're going to meet on this, and they're going to. There's letters going back and forth. But what do you truly believe in your heart of hearts actually will happen?
Well, hopefully, what will happen is that the media will hold them accountable. They have to be held accountable to this now. And if they are held accountable, what I know is going to happen is we're going to have a revolution in medicine across this country that will spread around the world, and people will be healed. Our suicide rates will drop. The UCLA's ran their own study where they tested everybody, 500 different patients that have come in with traumatic brain injury, and over 95% of those that had THC tested positive in their system survived and did not have to receive surgeries. Over 85% that didn't had either surgeries, multiple, or died. And so we can resolve the death rate in youth football, period. And we're not talking about getting kids high. We're talking about CBD, all these other things in the plant that are non-psychoactive, that have unbelievable neuroprotection benefits. And what this can do for pain management and getting guys off of opiates, Well, go look at Todd Marinovich out in the desert making a comeback. You talk about Tom Brady at 40. That's the story. And it's because of his ability now to use CBD and these other things that don't have psychoactivity to keep him sober, but to keep his mind in balance. And that's what it does.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, guys.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.